Well, good evening, South Mississippi. Sorry to interrupt your regularly scheduled broadcast, but if you were paying attention to our news shows earlier, we were talking about the potential for the damaging weather to be moving in, enhanced severe across South Mississippi, and now we do have a tornado warning off here in the eastern parts of Jackson County. You see that kind of centered right around the Moss Point area just south of Helena, and I believe that's moving northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So could we put the little cone up to see in which areas that's heading? I've got meteorologist Peyton Malone right off camera here, making sure we can get that on there. So it looks like over the next couple of minutes, we're looking at it moving towards Creole by 7:04, east Moss Point at 7:05, 7:13 will be heading into Pecan, Grand Bay by 7:22, and into Theodore, Alabama by 7:42. Now this is a tornado warning, and that means that the conditions are right for a tornado to be on the ground now, or one has been observed on the ground now. So this is not the situation where you need to be prepared. This is a situation where you need to be taking cover, and by that we're talking about getting into the most interior room of your house if you can. Very small enclosed area would be best. Put as much between you and the outside world as you can if you happen to be in those areas in the path of that storm. So if we're looking at it being kind of right around Moss Point, which it's kind of hard to make out because of the very high reflectivity values, but that little red square right around in this area is what we're talking about in terms of that tornado warning right up against the state line, again heading northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So in those areas that we mentioned, heading towards East Moss Point, headed towards eventually Theodore, headed towards Grand Bay, all of those areas within about the next 15 to 20 minutes are all in danger of seeing this circulation. Now, I was trying to see if we could see that on the velocity earlier, to see that rotation, to kind of pinpoint where that is, and it's looking like it's kind of up and about here, but we're also kind of getting some interference there as well. Apparently the Alabama mobile radar that we would normally use to get a lot closer to this situation so we'd be able to see it with more clarity, apparently that is off completely. So that is obviously not a good situation for them earlier. But right before I kind of lost it, we were kind of seeing that rotation in about this area, which is where they do have that, that polygon, that tornado warning in effect. So if we did place it right around where we're kind of seeing that before it dropped off, it would be just east of Moss Point, kind of headed toward Missoula there, right around that area where you're seeing the arrow moving in this direction at about 30 miles per hour. So everyone along that looking like it's almost kind of going slightly parallel to I-10 there, now just north of that. So in that area, obviously take cover. This is a place where you're seeing a tornado either about to be or already having been noticed on the ground moving in that direction. So all the things that we've been talking about through the entire day and leading up to this point through the week as far as the potential for severe weather goes, seeing that we were going to have these kinds of events going on. This is just the first one to pop up in South Mississippi. We've seen plenty of these already towards the north. You see picking up on the potential for hail there, strong updraft indicator. That's not anything official, but that is the radar picking up on the dangerous potential of this storm with those tornado watches and warnings going on for the rest of the night. Now we are seeing a severe thunderstorm warning off towards the east moving into Alabama. Wouldn't surprise me if as this rotation moves kind of out of Jackson County and towards Alabama, if they update that to have their own warning. But in the meantime, we're still apparently seeing that radar indicated tornado in about the Moss Point, East Moss Point area, moving northeast at about 30 miles per hour. Seeing if it looks like they just dropped that off for our area as far as that tornado warning goes. So that is something that will be up here all night, because that's exactly what we expected to see. These storms kind of coming through in waves. We're seeing the main wave right off here, pushing kind of into Alabama now, but we are by no means done. You can see the rest of that front well off towards the west, and we're kind of seeing some individual cells starting to pop up in between. So we're kind of just now finishing with round one, and we just got our first tornado warning, which again only lasted a few minutes and is now dropped off. So it looks like the danger is done, but still very strong storms moving in, and we can see more of those through the night. So from now through the next few hours until it's looking like around 10, we're still going to have this same potential to see damaging weather popping up at any given time. So it's something we'll continue to update you on. I am sorry to interrupt your broadcast. I don't like doing it, but anytime we have a dangerous situation where lives are at risk, I will always prioritize the weather information going out over whatever's going on television. And I do apologize apologize about that, but that's exactly why many of us in this industry do what we do and why we try to do it so well. So again, tornado warning was issued for right around the Moss Point area moving northeast. That was radar indicated rotation that has since now been dropped off, moving off into Alabama, but we are seeing the development of more storms off towards the west. So we'll be seeing this continuing over the next couple of hours as we head through the rest of the night. So if anything else does occur, we'll be sure to let you know. You can also have your WXXV weather app active. That way, if you live in an area where a warning is issued, it will alert you immediately and you can seek cover at that time. So sit tight, South Mississippi, and if anything changes, I'll let you know.